Hello everyone, Civic Extraordinaire here, and welcome back to another trailer look. This is actually the first look at the Vietnamese civilization, and it has been released on Thursday. Previously, on Tuesday, we had a first look at the January update as a whole, featuring Vietnam and Kublai Khan, and on Tuesday, we should have a first look at Kublai Khan, who is the alternate leader for both Mongolia and China. So, without too much introspection, let's just go ahead and get a look at the Vietnamese trailer, and I'll try to break it down for you guys.
Ba Thu leads Vietnam in Sid Meier's Civilization 6. Ba Thu, also known as Lady True, is best remembered for her fiery personality and abject tenaciousness. She is once said to have proclaimed, "I'd like to ride storms, slay big whales in the open sea, drive out foreign aggressors, reconquer the country, undo the ties of serfdom, and never bend my back to be the concubine of whatever man." Vietnam's unique ability is Nine Dragon River Delta. All land specialty districts can only be built on rainforest, marsh, or woods tiles. Buildings on each type of tile receive either additional science, production, or culture.
Okay, so I'm not actually sure about this ability. I think she goes into the ability a bit more later, but just for some of the basic yield, it seems a bit restrictive, even more so than the Gallic ability, where you can't have a district adjacent to the city center. And I'm not too sure about these yields over here because I think they stack with each building, but initially, if you have some fairly restrictive placement, like if you're in a desert or in the tundra starting near snow and you don't have a lot of forests and you have no jungles, because Vietnam seems to be restricted to warm, wet areas like jungle and forest terrain, and especially I think she can place on marsh and floodplains as well, but it's just going to be a bit restrictive, and it'll be a bit of a challenge to kind of build around that. So it should prove interesting. This is definitely a malice for the civilization. But I'm not too sure. I'm kind of conflicted on it.
Or culture. This ability also allows woods to be planted with the medieval Ferris Civic.
Okay, that evens it out a bit.
Vietnam's unique unit is the medieval era ranged unit, the Voi Chien. Inspired by guerrilla tactics, this unit has additional movement and can even move after attacking. It is more expensive than the crossbowman unit it replaces, but is stronger when defending and has greater sight.
Okay, so I think this unit is strong for a few reasons. I want to see its combat strength here really quickly. But yeah, 28. I think that might be slightly, I don't know if that's an accurate reading. 28 before buffs, because Vietnam's civilization ability is coming into effect. And then, of course, they are in fortifications. So it looks like they actually have a 40 base strength. I was going to say 28 would be fairly weak for a crossbow replacement. So I think that is about roughly the same strength as crossbowmen. I may be wrong, but I think crossbow is 38. So if you take into account the jungle and all of the fortification bonuses and whatnot, I think this will be a fairly powerful unit, not just because of the defensive bonuses Vietnam gets, which will be elaborated on later in the video, but also because of that extra sight, which can help in the jungle, and because it is a ranged unit, so it can keep its distance and still do a ton of damage, especially with those jungle bonuses factored in. And that sight helps definitely in the long run.
It is more expensive than the crossbowman unit it replaces, but is stronger when defending and has greater sight. Vietnam's unique district is called the Thanh and offers additional culture for each adjacent district. Once flight is researched, and offers additional culture for each adjacent.
Okay, so these culture yields actually seem like they can be fairly powerful. The only problem with cultural districts, like the Thanh, that do not replace the theater square or any of its buildings, is that they do not have any slots for actual relics and great works. So that can hurt the civilization if they are not going just for a cultural support, but for more of a tourism victory. So if I was playing as like Vietnam and I wanted to go for a tourism victory and really start to push out, the Tan wouldn't be too useful. I think they did say they had some tourism later on, but those great works really do help with the tourism. That's a key component of the victory. So I don't know if that tourism will be powerful enough. We'll have to see when we test it out when it releases on the 28th. And I'm also not too keen on encampments in the first place because I'm not too much of a warmonger, but they will help kind of similarly to the Gaul and their Oppidum in that they do have a ranged attack and they can help when defending, especially coupled with Vietnam's other bonuses. So it will be interesting to kind of place the Tan out like a city district or like a walled quarter, and you can put some of your other districts around there. It would have been nice to see some kind of minor adjacency bonus for the Tan to function more like a city settlement, but I'm still fine with the cultural bonuses. I think it's nice that it isn't too entirely military focused.
District. Once flight is researched, this district generates tourism equal to its culture output. It does not require population, and
okay, so that's actually
than the
fairly
encampment
good.
District it replaces. Ba Tiu's unique ability, Drive Out the Aggressors, provides additional combat strength for units fighting in rainforest, marsh, or woods tiles. This bonus is further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam. Beginning a turn in rainforest, marsh, or woods also provides additional movement, which is also further increased for tiles owned by Vietnam.
This is actually a fairly interesting ability. I've kind of been saying this a lot with the trailer, but really Vietnam does have something interesting going with their key reliance on terrain. I think one of the developers wasn't kidding when they were talking about Vietnam's strategic positioning around the terrain. So with the Civ, it looks like more and more you're really going to want to max out your city placements. They have a great looking Tan here. It should be getting like 6 culture, so it will indeed be functioning like a city. I'm not too sure about the actual graphical design of it, but onto the ability itself for the Vietnamese defense. +2 movement in your own tiles should be helpful, especially if it affects builders, because that means 24/7 you will be able to shuttle builders across and quickly build up your empire. So I think if it does affect civilian units, that will be very, very powerful, and it won't just be a defensive bonus. It can also help with the industry. And we may have a similar situation to Colombia, where we have super fast movement across the empire, where you can quickly stage sieges. So my only problem really is that the Tan, in conjunction with this ability, seems to be going for more of an offensive civilization as opposed to a defensive one, because the Tan, coupled with this ability, will make it so that you're pumping out great generals super quickly, and you can plan out super quick surprise wars. So I don't know if describing Vietnam as a defensive civ is entirely too accurate.
Vietnam can be flexible in its path to victory, focusing on either science or culture, depending on the placement of districts. Either way, construct buildings as quickly as possible to leverage their extra yields. Avoid desert, but don't be afraid to settle in open plains or grassland, as Vietnam can plant woods early. However, rainforests can't be planted, so think carefully before chopping them. Woods, rainforest, and marsh tiles owned by Vietnam offer the Civ significant tactical benefits, turning
With all that said, I still think Vietnam is going to be a fairly powerful civ. I'll let the rest of the video play, but being able to plant forests early and some of that unique district placement is still interesting in my opinion, so I will definitely be giving a crack at the civilization for my next upcoming Let's Play. I think the video from here just goes on more about their strategic advantages and whatnot, because they definitely are a strategic civ that will require some city planning, which I do like. And I think they will be similar to the Gaul in that they are balancing city planning with a military focus, as Ambiorix himself with the Oppidum kind of acts as an encampment, and he does have some similar bonuses to combat. So stay tuned for more Civilization 6 content in the future. This has been Civ Extraordinaire. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Expect to see something on Tuesday from me with the Kublai Khan trailer, and I hope the audio has drastically improved. We recently hit 100 subscribers, so if you want to help us out and leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment below, that helps me out greatly. and I appreciate the community interaction that I get from you guys. So this has been Civ Extraordinaire, and I hope to see you guys very, very soon. All right, peace.